Film starts. Am I audible?
Yes, but a little louder.
Now, am I audible?
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. I am Gursimran Singh, Sphere India, Program Associate, Sphere India, and a very warm welcome to all of you. Uh, Thank you for joining us today's webinar on importance of biodiversity, conservation, and role of youth. We are very happy to have such wonderful speakers and participants with us. Today, we will talk about why biodiversity matters, how youth can lead conservation efforts, and how technology can support our actions. So let's start this interesting session for together. And now I would like to invite Moderator of the Day, Miss Arpita ma'am. Welcome, ma'am. Over to you.
Yeah, this is Miss Arpita Chakraborty.
Miss Arpita Chakraborty, ma'am. Uh,
Arpita, please join.
Sir, ma'am is here, but ma'am voice is not being connected, ma'am.
In before Arpita comes in, let me just introduce because I know all of them, uh, all the guest speakers. So on her behalf, let me introduce them. This is uh, first. Let me request Gurshimranji to please show Brian Ogalo, who is one of the speakers. This is Brian Ogalo, and Brian Ogalo is a veterinary student of Nairobi University. It is situated in Kenya, and he is very energetic, enthusiast guy. And I hope that uh, this program, the role of youth of in conservation of the biodiversity, uh, would be led by Brian and his young team members. And here are other two members, Mr. Jahangir. Yes, this is Brian Ogalo. This is Mr. Brian Ogalo. And Brian Ogalo is presently he is there in Nairobi University, and there are other two members. One is Mr. Saptarathi Dev. Saptarathi Dev is a postdoc student. I would still prefer to call him as a student. He is a young adult, and he had started his uh, development career through Prism's Green Scout program. Uh, and he completed his mm, doctoral degree from Padua University. This is situated in Italy, and it is a very prestigious university, and I think it is world's number two university. And at this moment, uh, he was conferred um, this convocation took place. Convocation took place in a hall where the scientist Galileo, he actually delivered his lecture, and it was, and we would love to know more from uh, Saptarathi. And there is another person called Mr. Jahangir. Mr. Jahangir is from Bangladesh, and extremely well they are doing whatever they have been doing from BARCIK. BARCIK is an organization, is his organization, and whatever they have been doing is extremely well, extremely community participation is being ensured, and they are really into it, uh, even in the crisis period. So Arpita is one of the volunteers of PRISM, and Arpita took the responsibility of moderating the session. She's there. Maybe I'm not sure what has happened. Why Arpita is though she is being unmuted, but she is um, actually uh, actually there is a problem. She speaks but we cannot hear, so that's the problem. I spoke to her over phone. uh, However, so I would now request uh, the speakers one by one, but before that I have one observation. Long back in July 2024, uh, a decision was taken that youth conclave, this is formed this was formed by Climate Action Resource Network Asia Pacific, and this youth conclave, it's a platform for younger people. They should think what the young people, younger generation should do about um saving the uh, earth, mother earth, and at the same time we thought of giving them some opportunities to do some action, to take some action, to take the mother earth, uh, being resilient, take the uh, people being resilient. Let me just take the call. Okay. So that was the situation, and after that, since December 2024, December, January, February, and in April. So this is the fourth session. So we initially decided that we'll discuss on 12 different topics. So some topics will be highly IT related, AI related, and some topics will be process related. But while coming to biodiversity conservation, so it was found that we we had to postpone this session for three times. So this is because people are not younger generation. Younger people, maybe they are confused, and maybe they are not in a position to uh, uh, actually uh, say or um, motivate others. other youngs, those who are not in the youth conclave, but those who are actually needs to get motivated. So thrice we have changed this, and it is today this is being taking place, being it a Sunday. So many people have said, and we have shared the link. Of course, this is being recorded, and this session will be this YouTube recorded version will be shared with others. So, however, now I am requesting Mr. Jahangir Alam to share his views. So, uh, Jahangir, can you share your presentation from uh, this place, or you need me to share your presentation?
I will try. Thank you so much for your cooperation. I am trying to share from here. If I cannot, then I'll take support from you. I'm taking this.
Yes, it has come.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you very much. Uh, Your thank you all the moderator. Thank you the presenter. Thank you the participant. Very much honored to be here with the young men who are participating in this program. The topics of this program is the importance of biodiversity conservation and role of youth. Uh, my name is Zahangir. I am the coordinator of BARCIK, Bangladesh Research Center for Indigenous Knowledge, Bangladesh. Here is my mail number. Also have a WhatsApp number. And I'm also giving our website number, www.barcik.org.pd. BARCIK is non-government development research organization, have been working since 1997 in the field of biodiversity, climate, and food security. And my my topics is, uh, are you seeing this, brother?
Yeah, yeah, we
The
can. But Jahangir,
Yes, sir, it can be seen.
can you just speak in a louder voice?
okay. I'll try. I'll try. I'll try. Just a minute. Just a minute. The sound is full. The sound is full. The sound is full.
Sir, sound is clear, sir.
Okay.
You may start.
You are screen sharing. Um, my name is Jahangir. Already I have seen. I've told it. The content of my presentation is definition of the biodiversity and what is called biodiversity and classification of biodiversity, importance of biodiversity, national and international laws and acts and treaties, causes of biodiversity loss and depletions, or BARCIK initiatives to conserve biodiversity through the youth, through the role of youth, and role of youth to conserve the biodiversity. This is the content of my presentation today, and now I'm talking about the definition of biodiversity. Bio means life. Uh, Dada, could you please tell me how much time I can speak now?
15 minutes, you see.
Okay, okay. Bio means life, and diversity means variety. Biodiversity means variety of life. Biodiversity is the number and variety of plants. Sorry.
Sir, your
Uh,
presentation screen is not coming again.
okay, but
But I can see the presentation screen.
can you see now?
Yes, 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 yes.
Yes,
Uh,
sir,
by
it's moving.
biodiversity is the number and variety of plants, animals, and other organisms that are living in an ecosystem. And we know that we are the part of ecosystem, and biodiversity is the number and animals, or how many and what types of animals are living in an ecosystem, that is called biodiversity. And here is a picture of biodiversity. Normally, this picture was published in our newspaper in the last biodiversity day. Here have some different types of animals, plants, and other organisms. And biodiversity is responsible for our food. Biodiversity is very essential for our life. They also provide our food, also provide our healthy soil, also our water, our oil, even the air we breathe every day. So we have biodiversity is the part of our life. So it is essential to know more about the biodiversity issues. From microscopic fungi to mega forest, biodiversity is the collective term for the variety of life on Earth in all its form. So biodiversity is the major part of our life. And there are three types of biodiversity. That's species diversity. Another is genetic diversity. And third is ecosystem diversity. There is some picture. You can see the diversity for height vegetables. And if I told about the species diversity, you can see the different types of species here. Here is some fruits, have some snakes, have some vegetables also. So species diversity of different is the species diversity is species in a area, variety of area, and variety of different species in an area is called the species diversity. We have different types of species in area, and another is the genetic diversity. It is the variety within a species. Like as the maize, we can see the different types of maize, but all are maize, but each has different variety. So it is called the genetically they are different. That is why it is called the genetic diversity. And third one is this is second one. The same six, but they have different diversity. It is called the one is called the lomba tall leg. Some are neck open, nauri. Different types of name is here. And another is the same pigeon, but there are different types. And third one is ecosystem diversity. There are different types of ecosystem. Here is some different types of ecosystem, like as the hilly ecosystem, wetland ecosystem, and the agriculture ecosystem. The ecosystem, different ecosystem such as the forest, grassland, and the ocean and the oceans. That's the diversity. So there are so many types of diversity in a same in a ecosystem area. And importance of biodiversity. Biodiversity is the part of our life. Biodiversity is the part of our food chain. So ecological biodiversity always ensure stability of ecological stability, because diversity ecosystems are more resilient to environmental change and disturbance. It always stable our ecology, and it also try to well-being of our human through the biodiversity provide us the food, clean water, medicine, and other essential resources that come from the biodiversity. That is why it is very well-being for human and other well-beings. And another is cultural and economical value. That is very important. That is many many cultures have deep connection to culture. Many cultures have deep connection to nature and biodiversity, And biodiversity also contributes to economic activities like tourism, agriculture, and food, and other issues that come from the biodiversity. Understanding and conserving biodiversity is essential for the health of our planet and the well-being of all living things. Here, there are some laws, issues, acts, and sites to conserve the biodiversity. We know that the Convention of Biological Diversity. Once I participated in India, that was held in Hyderabad, while the CBD conference. So I have seen the all countries are trying to conserve the diversity in various way. And here is the major important things is Convention on Trade in Endangered Species. As sites are very important, so we should stop the trade of endangered species in everywhere in Bangladesh if we want to conserve the biodiversity. Also, there are so many laws and policies here, and we can go another page. And we have also the Convention of Biological Diversity that was held in 1992 in Nairobi, and but Bangladesh has already signed this diversity, signed this already signed, and there is also another act, that is Biodiversity and Community Knowledge Protection Act 1998. It is very important to protect the biodiversity and especially the knowledge for the indigenous community and also the local community. That is very important to protect the biodiversity. So we should conserve their knowledge. We should protect their knowledge. And among the laws, among the acts, the knowledge was protected. And we know that there is a Ramsar site declaration in Bangladesh, declaration which was held in Iran, and there are two Ramsar sites in Bangladesh. That was created for the waterfall to protect the birds in Bangladesh and other migratory birds. And that was created in 1972. And there are two Ramsar sites in Bangladesh. One is Tangwar Haur, and another is Sundarban. Tangwar Haur is close to the Meghalaya Hills. The biodiversity was helped to protect this declaration was helped us to protect the biodiversity in two areas. And BARCIK initiatives, how BARCIK has been protecting biodiversity in our working area. BARCIK has been conserving 700 types of local adapted rice through local farmers and farmers, also protecting chilies and chicks research through youth male and female farmers, expanding to cultivate in the 4 agro-ecological zone in Bangladesh. There are 30 agro-ecological zone in Bangladesh. BARCIK has been working 4 major agro-ecological zone in Bangladesh. And youth groups have been planting local adapted plants and protect invasive plants in their areas. Protect plants in the areas which are alien species that are not permitted in the area. They are protecting invasive plant. In coastal area, especially the Saptarathi and Khulna, and Barring area, the low rainfall area, floodplain areas, especially the Manikganj and close to the Padova, and our wetland area that is close to the Meghalaya Hills, are vulnerable to biodiversity conservation and climate crisis. Youth are planting local plants to save them from cyclone, salinity water source, drought, sea level rise, and early and flash flood. These climatic indicators are available in this area. Climatic crises are available in this area. The youth people are working to protect the local community, local biodiversity through this process. So BARCIK is working with the youth to protect their area, their biodiversity, their community uh, for their survival. BARCIK also facilitating to save natural animals in the area and protecting birds and fish sanctuaries and poaching. Especially in the Howard area, there are so many fish sanctuaries, also bird sanctuaries in coastal and Howard area. So youth people are trying to protect that bird sanctuaries and fish sanctuaries in that area. Uh, that is why the mother fishes and birds can save through the community process. And number five, uh, the youth also are trying to organize school and college level lecture series. We call it the ecological education lecture series and plantation on biodiversity conservation and climate justice. They are also working. They are also organizing a rally in their area and incorporating youth through these activities and organize human chain dialogues, seminar, day observations, different environment day and other days, and lobby and policy activities to save nature and climate justice, both in rural and urban areas. I am also working with, especially I am very close to the working with the urban youth to save the biodiversity in urban areas, especially in Dhaka, Rajshahi, and coastal region area, and also yeah, creating their awareness, increasing their awareness, and they are protecting they're involved in protecting their biodiversity. And biodiversity loss, the causes of biodiversity loss, especially biodiversity loss is primarily driven by five factors. Habitat loss is a major factor. So the the habitat is losing by the people and other muscleman people, and there are many invasive species that are planting by the government and other agencies, and over exploitation, resources are exploiting too much. They are not working as a sustainable way, and pollution, because pollution is a major factor for depletion of biodiversity, because in a huge number of pesticide and herbicide are used in the agriculture and other areas. So the biodiversity is decreasing day by day, and climate is another major cases that is the destroy the biodiversity and they are happening. These factors largely influence our human activities, disrupt our ecosystem to reduce the variety of life on Earth. And here is some fruits you can see, banana and uh, pineapple. Then that is use the hormone, which is also the harmful for our biodiversity. And also you can see some different types of uh, fruits and also some forest. Bangladesh is a land of diversity. There are two types of diversity: natural and cultural diversity. We're talking about the natural diversity. Bangladesh has cultural diversity. Cultural diversity is also connected with the natural diversity. There is some clothes you can see. These clothes can be prepared with the rice wash rice wash water. So it has close connection with the uh, natural and cultural diversity. So we know that there are some also same things. The youth role in conserving biodiversity is that awareness and education. That youth can make awareness through the educate the other youths about the biodiversity loss and endangered species, ecosystem health, use social media to spread awareness through the campaign, also organize workshops, seminars, school program to to engage players in conservation efforts. And also, BARCIK organized 3 Olympiad in school and college level. And that is one of the process to incorporate youths to conserve the biodiversity. The youth can work can organize these types of works. We also organize ecological education and introduce the youth with the uncultivated plants. This is very nutritious. Our youth people are very much fond of fast food. That's create obesity. So if the youth can know the nutrition value of this product, so they will value these issues and they will conserve these issues, uncultivated plants. So we are working with this youth through this process. And sustainable lifestyle choice. We can work with the youth through the reduce waste, plastic waste, fast fashion to minimize the environmental harm. We can also support to eco-friendly products like as the organic farming, local plants, agroecology. We are working in Bangladesh. And another is active participation in conservation. Youth can join local clean up drives like as beach clean, forest clean, river cleans, canal cleans, etc. Volunteer with organization and NGOs. Youth can do the volunteerism activities with the NGOs and CBOs and participate. They can participate in the citizen science project like as the bird counts, planting, wildlife monitoring. These types of works they can involve in this process. So they also can advocacy and policy influence through different types of activity like push for stronger environment policies by engaging with policymakers. They can join with youth-led movement, a Friday for Future, day observation, these types of activity they can join. And demand corporate accountability by supporting sustainable business. And number 5, innovation and technology. Youth can develop apps and tools to track biodiversity. And they can also use drone and GIS mapping to study ecosystem. Also protect green, also promote green entrepreneurship, ecotourism, and some other types of activities. They can protect local biodiversity, like as create urban green spaces, because you know that urban is going hotspots in Southeast Asia, and people of the urban low income people are affected by the uh, urban heat states. That is why you can create green space uh, in both sides of the road, open space, park, community garden, rooftop farms. In these types of work, they can involve themselves and they protect native species by removing invasive plants and supporting pollinators. They can support the bee, butterfly. They can save and also document and report wildlife crimes. They can also document and report war crime, these types of activities. Thank you so much for your patience that you learn. I am trying to speak a very small information. Thank you all for your patience.
Thank you, Jahangir. It was a nice presentation, and I believe that we have learned something what BARCIK is doing, BARCIK has been doing, and what we need to do in our places, in other places. So this was a fantastic presentation, I must admit. And now I am coming to directly to Mr. Brian Ogalo, and who- requesting Mr. Gurshimranji to please share who is Brian Ogalo, his profile, and all these things. Thank you, Brian.
Thank you. Can you hear me?
Yes, Brian, check your this thing system and speak a bit louder, because some comments I have seen in chat box. that it was very poor. The volume quality was poor, but I could hear what Jahangir has said. I could hear, and I believe that those who will hear the this thing in YouTube, they will also recorded voice, so they will also be able to learn what Jahangir wanted to say. But I am saying you, requesting you to please be a bit louder. Thank you.
Welcome, Mr. Brian Ogalo. Mr. Ogalo is a dedicated youth leader, experienced of serving in two organizations. Currently, in his fourth year of pursuing a Bachelor of Veterinary Medicine, he combines his academic focus with a strong passion for wildlife conservation, sustainable farming practices, and innovation. Sir, we are waiting to hear from you.
Okay, thank you. Did you get my presentation so that you share, or should I share?
If you can share, sir. Is it okay
Okay.
with you or?
Can you see it?
Yes, sir. It is visible.
Okay,
We
thank
all
you.
can see this. Thank you,
Yeah,
sir.
thank you. Uh, thank you so much, Annie, for the introduction and the invitation. We met with Annie in Nairobi in Africa Climate Summit. We have become friends, and now we are talking about youth conclave. And we also like to mobilize the Kenyan youth to be part of this conversation of conserving our environment and also championing for sustainable future. So my presentation will be about the Kenyan youth. I've been working with the youth for some time now. In my university, I've led two organizations, as you have heard from my profile. So we'll be talking about the Kenyan youth drivers of biodiversity conservation through technology and innovation. Being a veterinarian, you can see there I took a picture. This is our city, Nairobi, and this is a challenge that we are having. You can see these are cattle feeding on garbage. I was so concerned as a youth and as a veterinarian. How can we stop this problem from occurring? I've been thinking about what is the cause, what is the problem. These are some of the things that, as a youth, um, we are so passionate about, so that we conserve our environment. My profile has been shared. I am a youth leader and I love environmental conservation, wildlife conservation, majorly sustainable farming practices. I've done it, and also innovation. Yeah, my bit of introduction. You can see a picture there. This is my home, my rural home. We plant vegetables. This is our kitchen garden at home. So I had a chance during my
We,
holiday to
sorry,
see.
Brian, we are
Sorry to
not able to
interrupt.
see the slides
Yeah.
moving. We can
Yes.
just see the, yeah, now it's
Now it's
They are
moving.
not. They are
Yeah,
not
yeah, it
moving.
is. It is.
Is
It's
it
moving.
moving?
Yes, it's moving.
Thank you. Uh, all right. So we are planting variety of vegetables, and this reminds me of how nature can be beautiful and how different species can coexist. Yeah. So I had a chance of weeding it, just removing the weeds so that they can grow well, and you can see how beautiful it is. So for me, biodiversity entails variety of life on Earth, including species diversity, genetic diversity, and ecosystem diversity. By combining youth engagement with technology tools, the conservation can be more impactful. Yeah. So talking about the youth, the Kenyan youth majorly, these are energetic and passionate about the environment. They are always open to learn. They are drivers of change, and they are most of our Kenyan youth are actually literate and technological service. A huge percentage of our youth have smartphones and access to electronic devices. They are using AI already, and they are educated. Just the problem of unemployment, but they have basic education. Some of them have gone to colleges, some of them have finished their high schools, so they are relatively literate. So you can see a picture there on my left. On your left is what happened in Kenya in the year 2024, in the month of June. The youth led nationwide protest just to advocate for their rights. The systems were not working for them. The bill that was being passed in parliament was not friendly to them, and they were able to turn it around, and it was rejected by the president. And this is what the youth can do. They are very passionate, and their voices can be heard. Yeah. Youths in action. As I've said, advocacy is key for the youth. They are able to mobilize themselves online in the social media platforms. They are able to create posters, and as we saw in the year 2024, they're able to bring change in our country, which we are still proud of up
Sorry to
to now.
interrupt you, sir, but your slide is not moving. We are now, yes, now it's moving.
Okay, are we okay now?
Yeah,
Yes.
Okay, now.
Okay, maybe they are moving. All right, they are moving. All right. A
You,
volunteerism. Yes. All right. Volunteerism. Most youths in Kenya are unemployed and therefore engage in volunteering activities. Some of these opportunities are geared towards environmental conservation, as we will see as we proceed. Leadership. Being drivers of change, the youth are influencing policy through youth-led movements. There are some of the youth-led movements that you will see as we continue this presentation. But youths are already taking up leadership positions in our government, in environmental conservation spaces. They're also taking leadership position in campus. Myself, I've been a leader in the university, and we have been able to do a lot of activities geared towards environmental conservation, including tree planting, cleanup activities, and just awareness creation in our environment. We have also done a bit of vaccination, rabies vaccination for dogs in our community. And this will means the well-being of human beings and and our animals are catered for, and also for the environment. So some of the initiatives that we have in Kenya for the youth that are actually working and um, 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 our efforts just to conserve our environments. One of them is Comb Green Solutions. Comb Green is located in a place called Korogocho. Korogocho is in Nairobi. So it was a formerly, recently it was known as an area of crime, but now the youths in that area are coming up with solutions to conserve the environment. They are doing a lot of tree planting. They are doing a lot of waste management. Um, we have the Nairobi River. Nairobi River is a big river in the city of Nairobi. In the past, it was clean, and it had aquatic life, but now due to the waste that it has in Nairobi, it's not able to sustain the aquatic life. So the youths are actually doing cleaning. They are cleaning the river, and through that, they are able to take the waste, and the waste they are using as a fuel actually to cook. And through that, they are able to get income. This is what the youth can do. So they have turned the crime rate around in an area that is having 200,000 people, but now they are driving change by providing solutions to their problems. So through this, they are able to employ youths who are idle, and they are now able to get some income and some money to sustain themselves. SOHIC there, Student One Health and Innovation Club, is one of our clubs in the Faculty of Veterinary Medicine. Through that, we have done a lot of activities, cleanup in our environment, in our campus as well. We are able to champion for a healthy environment. Smarts Foundation is also a youth-led organization by the the daughter to our president. Is a youth-led organization that is thriving. Darren Hart Foundation is also a youth-led movement that is also doing conservation in our country, and they're also doing awareness creation in primary schools and also high schools. Yeah. So those are some of the pictorials, as you can see there. Comb Green Solution. They are doing some vertical gardens there. And also we have Smarts Foundation, Darren Hart Foundation also doing some cleanup in the city of Nairobi. Down there we went, SOHIC, that is Student One Health and Innovation Club, Faculty of Veterinary Medicine, went to one of the slums in Nairobi, and we were able to educate the community members there about the use of antimicrobials. And after that, we were able to place some hand washing equipment there, just to help them appreciate the importance of a clean environment and healthy, living a healthy life. Because what we advocate for in Student One Health and Innovation Club is actually a One Health initiative, and One Health comprises of the environment, human beings, and animals. So we believe that there is an interdependence between human health, environmental health, and animal health. So we do this yearly, each and every year in the month of November. We visit various places and we educate the community on the importance of conserving the environment and also taking care of the animals and their own well-being. Because if the environment is healthy, the animals will be healthy and the human beings will be healthy. Yeah. The other bit is about now what next? Call to action for the youth, especially in Kenya, and this will also broaden up to Africa as a whole, because we share common problems and common opportunities majorly. We should empower the youth more with the training and access to technological tools. We are talking about AI generation. The youths are already in AI. So there needs to be more empowerment because, as we mentioned, the youth, they are always ready to learn. In the faculty where I am and the students I interact with, they're always open to opportunities. They keep refreshing their emails just to find if there are opportunities to apply for. And they're always excited to get an opportunity, whether it is volunteering or an internship or opportunity where they get paid. They're always open. So we can do more empowerment as Youth Conclave. And now that we are opening our chapter in Kenya, we can do more empowerment through such webinars and also a physical workshop and just facilitating our environmental initiatives and activities. Support youth-led conservation initiatives, the cleanups, tree planting activities, and also community awareness creation, and many more. We need to foster more innovation through competitions, workshops, and funding. I was privileged to be part of an innovation challenge. Though our team didn't win, but it gave me a lot of insights, and I learned a lot on how innovation can shape sustainability. So as we think about Youth Conclave and what the future has in store, we can think about creating opportunities for competitions. So as the youths compete, they become more innovative. Workshops and also access to funding. We need to be more enlightened on how we can do proposals that will attract funding so that we conserve our environment. Support our physical workshops in the Kenyan chapter because it's more engaging and involving, especially in the learning institutions. Yeah. Thank you very much. That was the bit of my presentation because I had 10 minutes. Thank you so much. I'll be glad to take questions and also to share more on what we do in Kenya. And we also welcome you to come to Kenya and be with us. We have wonderful animals here around. We have good food and we love people. And Iruda can attest to that. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir.
Pran. Yeah. Arpita, please carry on.
Thank you, sir. Thanks, Mr. Brian Ogalo, who has not only awared us regarding the importance of biodiversity, but also has enlightened us as to how we go about conserving our mother nature and caring for her. He has shown the lead for role and responsibility both of the youth today in conservation of the biodiversity. And I felt myself while listening to him that while we are talking about there is no job, no employment anywhere in the world these days, we can take care of our mother nature and we can generate employment for our next generation also. So there is always a greener side of taking care of someone, whether it's our own mother, she is taking care of us, and whether it's nature mother who is giving herself for all the needs, and of course beyond needs, beyond our greeds also, and serving us. So now it's high time that we should take care of our mother nature. Thank you, Mr. Ogalo. Thanks a lot. Our next speaker for the session is
Before coming to Saptarathi, Arpita, I would like to share a few words about Brian Ogalo, and as I have seen him. So, if you allow me.
yes, sir. Please share.
Okay. So, Brian Ogalo, he uh, he is from Migori County. It is a county in Nairobi in Kenya, and he is from Migori County, and in their village. So almost 100 families are there, but none of them have electricity. In that village, electricity didn't reach, and their only drinking water is coming from uh, a river, and it's color like diesel. So I would like Brian, because we are talking about the role of youth, we are talking about the biodiversity conservation, and ultimately, though we are not directly talking, but ultimately we are talking about resilience building. So I would love to hear something from Brian regarding the safe drinking water and what can be done, because we need to think of it. Yes, Brian.
Thank you, Annie. Annie visited us in our home place in Migori County, and you were able to educate the community members about the importance of having safe water for consumption. Our theme was actually health is wealth, because if people are not in hospitals, they are not using money to buy medicine. So if most of the diseases actually in our home place are waterborne diseases, we were able to enlighten them on the need to consume safe water. Yeah. What you're talking about is very important. It's of public health importance that we have a healthy water. So what I can say, mainly the dirty water is attributed to heavy rains that brings flooding, and when flooding happens, it sweeps the waste in the farms to the rivers, and people also lack water storage equipments, so they rely on the river water, which is most of the time it is very dirty. Yeah, so they survive. Some of them survive because of their immunity, but most of them actually go to hospitals, especially children. So we need to think about how can we do more awareness creation. We just did one visit, but now they might have forgotten what we told them. We need to have a continuous education and awareness creation and visitation and
Right.
monitoring, also evaluation. And this also will need some resources, and we can have wonderful speakers from Sphere India come and visit us physically for more engagement, and we are able to create an impact. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Thank you, Brian, for just sharing your views about monitoring, about the regular follow-up program and everything. That is very important because one-time effort is not an effort. It is just uh, to show something, but people have the tendency to forget, and people have other many other important aspects also, because they need to think of their bread and butter in the evening. So that is what is very important. So that I really love your statement that they need to uh, be followed up, and there needs to be some monitoring. Okay. And now I would like to say another thing about Mr. Brian. Mr. Brian is we all are in disaster management, we all are talking about vulnerability. Mr. Brian's community is naturally vulnerable. So what naturally vulnerable and what is vulnerable? So vulnerability we talk about, but when we are talking about the genetic vulnerability, that is why I say natural vulnerable. So because they are actually affected by sickle cell anemia, and sickle cell anemia in Africa, in their area, it is the Loi community. They are very much suffering, and they are vulnerable. So the way we talk about or we think about vulnerability, so that is different. However, now I am requesting Mr. Saptarathi Dev to come on and present his PPT. And before that, I would like to just inform all the speakers that there are questions, because for Jahangir, there is one question in the uh, uh, chat box. Mr. Uh, Ogwang Robert Rapsi. He is the program advisor, Rural Agroecology Network, Uganda. He has joined, and I we would love to uh, know something from him also. Thank you.
Okay. Should I? I'm trying to share my screen.
Saptarathi, be a bit louder.
Yes, can you hear me better now?
Yeah, it is
Okay.
better.
Okay. I hope you can see my screen. So, hello, I'm Saptarathi, and I'm here to talk about genomic approaches to understanding biodiversity. And as we already seen in the first presentation, we have a very nice description of types of biodiversity and how it matters, and how what are the challenges. I'm also starting with the same topic, that the definition of biodiversity is basically the collection of all plant, animal, microbial life in the world as we know. And it is very important at this point to look into the conservation aspect of biodiversity, because with the ongoing extinction event which is happening right now because of mainly global climatic change, habitat destruction, invasive species, this is a high time to start thinking about this, especially to protect the life as we know on Earth right now. So how are we studying biodiversity so far? So when we look into plant animal biodiversity, the traditional method to study biodiversity is basically to do ecological surveys, go and see how many species are there in a particular environment, annotate them, categorize them, and then analyze their diversity across many different ecosystems. This is how the traditional aspect of ecological, so plant and animal biodiversity were being measured. Then when we go to look into microbial diversity, as you know, microbes are not visible to naked eyes. The most traditional efforts were mainly based on microscopy-based studies. So when you say microscopy-based studies, basically taking the samples, and looking them under microscope to manually count the number of species, number of whatever species we are looking at. Could be bacteria, fungi, worms, etc. And finally, when we talk about genetic diversity, uh, genetic diversity can only be documented by looking at how the things look like, because we cannot see the genes by our naked eyes. The only way to document genetic diversity is by looking at morphology, as one of the image shown in the first presentation about maize, that all are maize, but we can see many genetic diversity with different colors. So color is an indicator of genetic diversity. That is one of the aspect: color, shape, size, chemicals in them. That is the way how genetic diversity was being measured or studied in the traditional approach. Now, when we look into the limits of these traditional approaches, it's time consuming. There is a lot of sampling bias. For example, if you are going in a forest and doing a sampling to do the genetic diversity, animal diversity, you may miss out something. And that's how new technologies like GIS and other things are coming up to aid drone imaging, etc. Similarly, when we are looking into microbes, especially, which is not visible by naked eyes, microscopy-based methods are very limited with their detection range, and thus lack the ability to identify rare taxa, rare and very rare species. So that is one aspect of the limitation. The other aspect of the limitation is that we cannot see the functional aspect of biodiversity. So many functional aspects like microbe interaction, plant microbe interaction, human microbe interaction, these are the things which we were lacking with the traditional methods. Now, to overcome these traditional biases or limitations, we are moving towards a new methods which is basically genomics assisted biodiversity studying. So, what is genomics? To simplify the word, genomics is basically study of all genetic information in an organism. So in an organism which is present in a certain environment, so basically it's a different way of looking into the biodiversity. And genetic information is basically something which is stored in a thread-like molecule inside a cell, which is called DNA, and it is basically a sequence of letters, chemical letters, which is usually denoted by A, T, G, and C. And this genetic information is ultimately converted into what we see what we see in an organism. So every feature of an organism is finally encoded into this four-letter coding pattern in a DNA, and that is where all organisms share a similarity and uniqueness in the DNA. And so basically, all genomic studies are based on studying the DNA sequences, and these sequences are studied to see the similarity and differences to identify and characterize every organism in the planet. So how genomics aids biodiversity conservation? So when we talk about plant and animal biodiversity, identifying genetic differences and similarities are very important to rescue especially at-risk population. So when we talk about tiger conservation, rhino conservation, and very endangered species conservation, there is a high risk of inbreeding increase. So as you know that when there is a high level of inbreeding, the fitness of the animal goes down. So with the help of genomic understanding of the species and the DNA, people are able to assist breeding programs in these animals to help reducing the risk factors of fitness. So this is how genomics has been very widely used in conservation programs. And next, when we move to microbial biodiversity, which is where genomics really helps us, is to see what is not visible by naked eyes. So as we know, microbes in the soil, in the air or water or everywhere, it is not visible by naked eyes. We can track them with with DNA sequencing and understanding the quantity and characteristics of microbes in real time. One great example of this is what we saw during COVID tracking, because during COVID time we saw different strains coming up in different parts of the country, in the world, and how they were traveling through different time and space during the COVID pandemic. So this is something which was done for, of course, a pathogen. The same technology is being used to track fungus in forest and many other applications to understand the microbes and how they interact with the in the biodiversity niche. The third thing is genetic diversity, genetic biodiversity. This is again where genomics plays the true, genomics enable the true characterization of the genetic biodiversity. So when we see different shape and size, they are categorized by the genes which eventually code for the phenotypic differences. Now, one case study which I would like to share, and we were working on this during my PhD time, and also many other groups are working around the same time. So that is about tomato genetic diversity. So tomato, as we know, it is not a local plant for the rest of the world. So it was originated in South America, and it was brought into the modern world, let's say through the Spanish trade during the 16th century. And due to excessive breeding and commercial breeding for commercial trades, like we expect the tomatoes to look like the same look, have very good taste, color, size. We lost the genetic diversity during this breeding process. And due to this low genetic diversity, these tomatoes, what we see today, are extremely susceptible to disease. Here's an example of how many diseases we saw in just one growing cycle of few tomato varieties. And this is a big concern for the farmers, because we are aiming for something which is very important looking for the market, but the farmers are struggling on the other hand to make them even survive. So this extreme susceptibility is the reason behind like many crop losses and other things. So with the help of genomic studies, we were able to identify wild tomato diversity in South America, and these wild tomatoes are now further being conserved and finally being used to improve the current genetic diversity in the cultivar tomatoes. So this is where genomics really helped to understand the genetic diversity, which was not just visible by naked eyes. In the next topic, I'm talking about the soil microbiome. So, as we know, soil is a harbor of microorganisms, and these microorganisms also represent a big biodiversity. And this contains both good beneficial microbes and pathogenic or harmful microbes. Now, microbes are a part of our life. The soil serves as one of the big reservoir, and from soil, the microbes are being used by the plants for their own benefit, and also by humans eventually for digestion and other physiological purposes. Now, due to land use changes, pollution, intensive agriculture, high usage of fertilizers, and other mainly human activities, we are seeing a huge shift in soil microbial diversity, which is in turn leading to big ecological impact where we are losing many tree species or having big crop losses. So to understand this again, we are using DNA sequencing to understand how uh, soil biodiversity dynamics are changing. So one of the study which we did here was a landfill study. So there are many companies or many organizations which are trying to basically reconstitute the soil which was degraded during a landfill process. So where a lot of garbage were deposited, and because of which the soil was degraded, many groups are trying to reconstitute the soil physically by various methods. Now, when they say that they have reconstituted the soil, how do we know that the soil is alive again or not? So for this, um we assessed degraded soil and reconstituted soil with a gene called 16S RNA gene. So this gene basically tells us information about bacterial diversity. And what we saw was, so this is the example of this is the aerial view of the field. So the blue color is the agricultural field. The yellow is the one where we have a reconstitution event happening, and then finally the gray one is the degraded soil. And if you see the graph on the right side, agricultural soil shows a higher diversity compared to the degraded soil. Of course, this is what we expected, but again, as a benchmark, the reconstituted soil after reconstitution reached the level of which a very close level of diversity as we see in the agricultural soil. So this is how we used genomic techniques to enable us assessing the quality of reconstitution. So this was a great example of how we were able to do that. In the second case, which is a very interesting case of organic versus conventional farming. So there is already a big debate about organic farming versus conventional versus biological. I'm not going into the definition of organic and definition in the debate of organic and conventional farming. In this case, sugar beet, which is the major crop for sugar production in Europe, especially, was grown in an organic setup where the farms were not using artificial synthetic fertilizers and following a certain standards of cultivation, was compared to farms in the same region where they were following the conventional methods for 10 years. So this soil which we are comparing are from 10 years of continuous cultivation, and what we see is that the organic soil and conventional soil showed the similar amount of biodiversity when we count the number of bacteria. So the amount of biodiversity was same. This was kind of contradictory to what people say that organic cultivation promotes high diversity. At least in this case, we did not see that. However, the interesting part is when we counted, okay, one is the amount of biodiversity, but when we counted the amount of uh, beneficial microbes which promote sugar beet plant growth, we see that the growth of these bacteria, so the amount of these bacteria was much higher in organic agriculture compared to conventional. So this is how we used to sort of assess that the effect of new technologies. So whenever there is a new farming method is coming and there are many advancements happening, we also need to look into the impact of those methods on the microbial biodiversity in the soil. So this was one of the good example of how we were able to achieve that. So to summarize, biodiversity conservation requires a multidimensional approach where we have to build on the traditional knowledge and community awareness, and finally aid these two aspects with technological tools for tracking, identifying risk groups, and shaping effective policies. So genomics at this point is one of the great tools to do that, because with advancement of technology, the price is significantly coming down, and with a good effort with conservation groups and academic institutions, especially, it can be really translated to something which is useful for the community and in preserving the biodiversity. And with this, I would like to thank you for your patience. Happy to listen to your opinion about.
Thanks a lot, Dr. Deb, for your enlightening presentation and explanations. And only one thing I would like to know myself, that while going through your bio, there is
Yes.
something written that considering the biotic and abiotic stresses on the plants.
Yes. Sorry, I didn't
Can
understand.
Yeah, can you please explain it in in our level, so that we all can understand that plants
Okay.
also have stresses and that can be biotic and abiotic both.
Yes. So, okay, biotic stress, of course, we know that plants are heavily affected by pathogens, which is one of the main thing we see is fungus. So whenever we are growing any, for example, I work extensively with tomatoes, and we see a lot of fungus whenever there is a small amount of rain or a dip in temperature, we see heavy fungus infestation, and it can kill the plant within few hours, few 48 hours. The plants can be completely destroyed. This means that and that it's very sensitive. Now, how do we tackle this problem? So one approach is, of course, using the conventional more like the agricultural practices where we are spraying pesticides or fungicide, very strong fungicides which are chemically synthesized, and they work like magic. In a few hours they can reduce the fungal load, but this causes a big problem of fungus which become resistant to those fungicides. So always, for example, in case of COVID, we have seen that whenever there is a new strain which is resistant to the treatments which we were giving. So now when we do these kind of treatment with fungicide, we have seen that there is a big problem of fungus which come against which are resistant to the fungicide. So to tackle this problem, we are looking into many alternative approaches. So that includes finding the varieties which are naturally resistant. And this is where we are using genetic approaches to screen plants which are, so basically, there are many groups which are collecting seeds, which are saving ancestral seeds or saving wild varieties. And they have a huge potential because those at certain level evolved to fight against the fungus, which are not which were not in the commercial varieties. So what we do is we basically screen all those varieties, find the one which are resistant to the fungus, and recommend that to the farmers, which is usually, so in one of the example is that now we are screening around 50 tomato varieties which are called land races from the local farmers, and we are trying to understand which variety is resistant or susceptible to what disease. So that is the biotic stress part. In case of abiotic stress, one or few main important diseases which are happening a lot is mainly because of heat. And for example, when there is a high temperature and humidity, the pollens which are which need to fertilize the flowers are not able to move. The bees are not able to carry the pollen and fertilize the flowers for the fruits to generate. So in this case, this is a big problem because we will have the plant growing nicely, but due to excessive humidity and temperature, the pollens are not viable. So we are not getting any fruits out of it. So what we are trying to do is, one solution is to introduce things like bumblebees in the greenhouse, if we are doing in a greenhouse, or plant some more flowering plants near the garden, near the, let's say, tomato cultivation. We attract the bees with some other flowers. And the other solution is to find varieties which are naturally resistant. And this is where the local varieties come into picture, because most of the time local varieties are adapted to the natural climate. So I hope I could give some answer to what you asked.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much for explaining it so that we all can understand that plants are also prone to stresses and that affects
Yes.
our biodiversity.
Yes, absolutely. Like the main issue is that we are not able. If we are not if we are not seeing the farms, we don't know how much struggle is going behind the scene. So what food we are getting is it's coming through a very hard phase, which are being handled by the farmers, and it really needs some help.
Thank you, sir. After
Yeah.
completion of the 3 presentations from our three eminent speakers. I request Dr. Aniruddha Desar to tell us about how we go about it, go about attaining it. Now, today we have understood what is biodiversity, how it is affecting us. Mr. Muhammad Zahangir Alam, he has explained it clearly. Mr. Brian Ogalo has given many examples of his country, his local youth, that how involvement of local youth can save the biodiversity and also can generate income opportunities. Dr. Deb has explained in very lucid language that how the stress, biotic stress, and all other things can be handled using genomics into the agriculture. So to compile all three, how we go about it. Over to you, Dr. Aniruddha Desar.
Thank you so much. Uh, and I would love to say that today we feel proud that Brian came up, uh, Saptarathi came up, and Jahangir Alam, he also said, yes, sir, we can participate. So, three of the guest speakers, they are from different backgrounds. One is policymaker, one is a practitioner, and one is a mix. So now we have been talking about that, we have been discussing sometimes, and long back in Bangla. So there was one poet uh, whose name is Shukanto Bhattacharya. He wrote a poem that uh, আগামী প্রজন্মের তরে আমরা কি রেখে যাচ্ছি, মানে it is like that, that what we are actually giving to our next generation. So if we understand very categorically, very clearly, then we need to understand these things. Like Jahangir Alam, he has said one solution about organic farming. Organic farming is against input driven one. Input driven means those who cannot afford to go for those organic materials, they will not be able to uh, actually compete in this market. Number one. Number two is that organic is again a campaign by the corporates. So you need to show certificate. If you claim that your product is organic, then you have lots of other paraphernalia. So then comes natural farming. So natural farming, again, if I remember correctly, Jahangir in his presentation he has said, Brian in his presentation he has said, and uh, Dr. Deb, he also has mentioned that climate change is a very big issue. That natural ways, the actually the pollinators, their movements. So when we are spraying fungicides, when we are spraying some pesticides, so we are actually uh, just either demolishing, or we are just letting them go away from our field to a different place. So if there is no pollinator, there will be no natural farming. So if we consider farming as a whole, so in that case we need to think of a solution, that how the because today we have discussed mostly about the this, because biodiversity conservation is a vast area, and we have uh, considered mostly about its this thing, food aspects. So uh, if it is so, then we have to think that what kind of natural food we can have, and we need a solution for that. So we do not have much time, but I am glad that someone asked a question to Mr. Alam, Mr. Jahangir Alam, and Mr. Jahangir Alam answered that question uh, rightly in the chat box. Mrs. Chakraborty, she wanted a question from, wanted some answers, some explanations from Dr. Deb, and Prosenjit has another question that to Jahangir, Mr. Jahangir Alam, that could you suggest some simple actions individuals can take to promote by? Oh, okay. This is an old question, and Jahangir has already answered that question. Somehow it has reappeared. So I'm very much happy to see that younger generation, they are thinking, and they are seriously, it is not thinking, they're seriously thinking about finding out some solutions. And with this, I would like to end here, and I would like to ask the participants, if still they have some questions, uh, they can ask the questions to the speakers. Thank you.
Sir, there is one question from um, Mr. Batulla Janaki Rao.
Yes, sir.
He has
Wow. Now we have discussed about 1.5 hours, and what is the suggestion to youth? We have to check out some programs, sir. In the perhaps in the next session we can the check out program for the, especially for youth. What are the, what is to be done? How to conserve the biodiversity. And now the state government of Andhra Pradesh is doing some activities, sir. We are conserving the age-old trees and notify as a heritage tree. Just like in Haryana state, they are giving pension to the tree for conservation purpose every year, like that. And we have to identify some local areas which are very old, untouched, undisturbed forest areas, or undisturbed localities. Those areas to be identified as heritage sites, and especially the waterfalls areas also we have to conserve. These are the areas, and the sacred groves also can be conserved, sir. Now, recently, I had one article from West Bengal. There is a huge urge to conserve that tree, which is going to be cut by municipal corporation of some municipal corporation. These type of actions the youth shall take, sir. And we have to conserve, apart from this, we have to conserve the bee conservation, and a lot of corporate social responsibility funds are being flown towards the supply of bee hives. That is, some boxes like structures can be supplied by purchasing or manufacturing the and supplying to the localities for conservation purpose. And like that, we have to conserve the dragonflies and butterflies also for the future food crisis, especially because without pollination, we cannot develop the food. Now, day by day, the resources are decreasing and population is increasing, and the due to urbanization, the lands are going to be still further. And see, sir, in the last 50 years, what I could find, some backyards in the village sites also being converted as cement structures. No backyard now. Previously, some moringa and papaya fruits and lemon, this type of plants also missing. Now the present the structures are going multi-storied buildings. Only terrace we have to plant some encourage the potted plants, etc. And nutrition shall be it is a very important aspect in generation. Yes, sir. Thank you. Thank you for giving the opportunity to me.
Thank you, Mr. Bataullah Janki Rao, sir. Thank you for raising those pertinent issues. But only thing, it is already 2 minutes more we have taken. So I can only say one thing, that is solution from within. So we have to find out solutions, and this is one solution, that youth has to get involved into saving their biodiversity. It is not that what Kobi Shukanta has said. It is not that what my emotions say, that we should give something, but nobody can give something to anyone else. So it has to be done by oneself, and it is the time is now for solutions from within, to find out solutions from within. So what are the solutions there? So, and biodiversity, as we said, as Mr. Jahangir started discussing about what are the different aspects of biodiversity. So if we understand it uh, fully well, then we need to understand that it is a vast area, and we have to like food sovereignty. You are talking about this thing. So food sovereignty is gone. So if food sovereignty is gone, we cannot talk about simply food security and biodiversity. So it cannot be done. So that way we need to think of solutions from within. Although understand, we need to understand that there will be problems, there are problems. So like the governments, they like this government, they have yesterday they have announced say uh, water from Sindhu river will be stopped to Pakistan, will be stopped to flow. Uh, so that is something, some gimmicks. So these are not the practical solution, nor political leaders are thinking practically. So our role is to just involve more and more like-minded people, and finding out the solutions of the particular context. Thank you.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you, sir.
Thank you, sir. At the end of our presentations today, Dr. Aniruddha De sir has pinpointed our responsibilities. Our responsibility is to aware our conscience, to unite more like-minded people, make our network strong, and save nature so that we can save humankind. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
And
you, sir.
I believe now Gursimranji will say a few words as vote of thanks, and after that we will close.
Yes, sure. Thank you so much for joining this insightful session. And we will have more webinar on this topic and many other related topics also. If you have any suggestion or any feedback, please feel free to write to us, and stay tuned our social media channel from regular updates from Spare India Academy. And thank you so much.
Okay. Thank you, Gursimranji. Now we can leave, I believe.
Yes, sir. Yes.
It is
Thank
already
you.
4:37. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Dada. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you,
sir.
good Simran sir.
Thank you.
Thanks for saving me out of these all technical glitches that I was facing today. Thank you so much, sir, for your support.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Welcome to Kenya.
Thank you, sir. Whenever you have time, come and visit West Bengal.
Okay.